In a state prison, a man named Danny Ocean awaits the police officer to give him the news about his sentence ending. After 4 years of a jail sentence, finally a policeman arrives and escorts Danny out of the North Jersey prison. After getting out, Danny gets determined to make a big move. He heads straight to a huge casino and starts gambling. He meets a casino employee named Frank, who is an old accomplice of Danny. He leans in and asks if Danny has a new plan in his mind, but Danny simply shrugs and says that he has just gotten out of the prison, so he has no plan right now.
Ramon?
Glad to meet you.
He stars how to play cards. You have a plan already?
Just became a citizen again.
At the same time, a man named Rusty Ryan, who is an expert in playing cards, is teaching some new learners how to skillfully play cards and gambling. The people are amazed by Rusty's skills, but their non-seriousness in the game makes Rusty bored. Rusty excuses himself and goes outside to the bar to take a drink and calm himself down. After he is calm, he returns back and sees that there is a new face in the game. The other players inform him that a new player has joined in the game. Rusty is familiar with the newcomer, and Danny smiles back at Rusty. Rusty finally gets excited and starts betting higher and higher. Both Danny and Rusty start betting a high amount while the other players try to match them. Unfortunately for the other players, Danny, who is a pro at the gambling cards, wins the pot and takes the prize. Danny quickly shows his interest in Rusty, and both of them leave the casino together in Rusty's car. They meet up with each other in a private place to discuss Danny's plan. Danny asks Rusty to join him in a mission in which Danny is going to make a huge move on the casinos to rig out a huge sum of money for his team. Rusty gets interested, and Danny informs him that each member in the team is going to get a share of millions of dollars.
A large crew. What's the target? 8 figures each.
What? You want to knock over a casino?
Rusty quickly gets interested and joins in the plan. Danny informs Rusty that his plan is to scam 3 huge casinos owned by a man named Terry Benedict in Las Vegas. Danny doesn't reveal his reason for targeting these specific casinos, but there seems to be a story behind his motive. After the plan is delivered to Rusty, they start evaluating their team. Rusty explains that there may be a huge team required to pull off this scam. Danny and Rusty then start making a list of members they are going to involve in this plan. The next day, they fly to Las Vegas to meet with a man named Ruben. They meet him while he is dining on his lunch, and Ruben straight up calls their plan impossible. He starts joking around about Danny's plan and calls them crazy for coming up with such an absurd idea.
They got cameras, they got watches, they got locks, they got enough armed personnel to occupy Paris.
Danny and Rusty realize that Ruben is not going to join them, so they stand up to leave. While they are leaving, they start talking about Terry's casino, which piques Ruben's attention. He quickly rushes to them and says that he is going to join them, as he wants to take revenge on Terry for occupying his own casino. Their next stop is to hire their next members or their getaway driver position. They find 2 brothers known as the Malloy brothers. Virgil and Turk Malloy join the plan after hearing the reward. Danny's next members are Frank, whom he met at the casino, and another man named Livingston. He hires them to spy on the casinos from the inside as the employees of the casino. Afterwards, Danny goes to a bank where an active robbery is taking place. The vault inside the bank gets blown away by the bombs, but before the robber can get the money, the bomber is arrested. This bomber named Basher is an expert in explosives and bomb making. He feels happy to be able to see his bombs working so well. He gets arrested by the police and is about to be taken away when Rusty arrives at the scene and pretends to be a high-ranking officer. He fools everyone and takes Basher with him as a captive.
Peck, ATF. I mean, really seriously. Not just for weapons.
As Rusty is dragging Basher away, he explains the plan to him, to which Basher readily agrees because he is now tired of working with amateur villains. He exclaims that it's going to be fine working with some proper villains. Rusty quickly exits the crime scene with Basher, when suddenly the bomb that Basher forgot to detonate finally blasts, and the duo runs away from the scene quickly. The next person to be required is an acrobat who can easily sneak inside the casino vault without getting noticed. For the Agile member, Rusty recruits an Asian man named Yen from a circus. Rusty then travels to meet a man named Saul Bloom, who was an old villain, but for the sake of his life, he left the dirty work in the past and started a new life. Rusty tries to pursue him, but Saul refuses. But after hearing that Rusty and Danny are going after Terry's casinos, he quickly agrees.
My doctor says I need vitamins. I've changed.
After gathering everyone in their house, Danny tells Rusty that they have enough members now, but Rusty disagrees and states that they need one more member on their team. Rusty asks Danny to make a man named Linus join their team. Danny meets Linus in a subway, where Linus expertly pickpockets his wallet. After his attempt, he realizes that he is the one who has been looted by Danny. Danny meets up with Linus and asks him to join, as Linus's father was an old acquaintance of his. Linus agrees, and the team is now complete with 11 members. The team meets up at Danny's house, where Danny explains all the plans to them. Danny explains that the team needs to find information about the casino's vault where the money is kept. He explains that on normal routine days, casinos always have around $50 to $80 million to cover every chip in the casino, but on a certain day, the money can extend up to $150 million. He explains that the same special day is going to occur in 2 days, so the team has 2 days to spy inside the casino and gather as much information as they can.
Between 60 and 70 million dollars in cash. The weekend between 80 and 90 million. 150 million without breaking a sweat.
Exactly.
I have a question.
The plan begins the next day as the team members start to observe the routine and procedures in the casinos. The first part of the plan is to disable security surveillance. For this part, they use a girl to distract a security guard and steal his keys to the security room. They pass the key to Livingston, who is going to hack into the security system. The Malloy brothers try to distract everyone's attention by fighting each other. They use the balloons in their hand to make a blind spot for Livingston to enter the room. Their plan becomes successful as Danny and Rusty watch the events unfold in their room. They are surprised to see how smoothly the things are proceeding. Their next objective is to keep an eye on Terry, so they use Saul to catch Terry's attention. Saul gets his customized tuxedo and rehearses his lines to pretend to be a multimillionaire in the casino hotel.
So are you sure you're ready to do this?
My name is Lyman.
He enters the hotel with grace and fools everyone into thinking that he is a foreign multimillionaire. After entering the hotel, Saul reports that Terry arrives at the casino each day around 2 p.m. and leaves around 5 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Each day, the codes on the casino doors are changed, and Terry receives those codes every day. Saul meets up with Terry, who quickly gets interested in Saul after knowing that Saul is a multimillionaire from Europe. After Terry and Saul continue their chats, Rusty, who is guarding the casino, notices a woman coming out. This woman is Tess Ocean, the ex-wife of Danny. Something clicks in Rusty's mind, and he asks Danny if Danny is doing this for personal reasons, but Danny simply shrugs it off and expresses that he just wants to destroy Terry.
Well, I lost something.
Okay, here's the problem.
Everything goes to plan.
Back at their secret lair, the team witnesses Yen practicing his skills to enter and exit the vault successfully. They are amazed to see how flexible Yen is. After seeing him squeezing himself out of the vault's right hole, the team starts clapping to praise his talent. Meanwhile, Terry and Tess are admiring an art piece when Tess wants to say something, but Terry reminds her of their date that night. She smiles and agrees to his suggestion. At night, Tessa waits for Terry at the restaurant until a hand on her shoulder distracts her. She looks back and finds Danny standing behind her. She inquires what he is doing there, but Danny quickly notices that she is no longer wearing their wedding ring. She states that she has sold the wedding ring and Danny still needs to pay her money. Danny tries to persuade her by asking if Terry can make her laugh like he did, but Tess cuts him off and states that Terry doesn't make her stressed out like Danny did. They are still conversing when Terry arrives at the table. Danny takes a moment to exchange a few words with Terry, then takes his leave. Meanwhile, at the hotel room, the lights go out, and Basher, who is making his plan, goes out to check it. The next day, Basher tells the bad news to the group. The casino security has found the flaw in the electrical system that he was going to use in his plan. While the electrical staff is repairing it, it's impossible for Basher to do anything about the electricity blackout in the casino. He suggests that the team should use a pinch in the plan. The pinch contains electromagnetic waves that can disable the electricity, but a pinch of such high quality can only be found in a research institute. The team then makes a plan to steal the pinch, and they succeed, but Yen's hand gets injured while on their escape route. The plan is going smoothly until Livingston delivers the news that Danny has become an observation red flag from the casino.
We have a problem. Been red flagged with video cameras.
He's been chasing Benedict's girl.
Everyone gets shocked and asks Danny how this had happened, but Danny refuses the claims and states that he doesn't know how this has happened. Linus explains that Danny has been pursuing Tess reluctantly, and this caused Terry to get suspicious of Danny. The plan then shifts again, with everyone wondering how the vault is going to open if Danny cannot operate it from the inside. Linus claims that he is going to help Danny get to the vault. The plan then begins without a problem. The final day arrives, and Danny meets up with Tess again on purpose. She tries to shake him off and tells him him to leave, but Danny tells her that he is only there to bid her goodbye. He kisses her cheek and leaves. Tess suspects that there is something going on inside Danny's brain, but she chooses to stay quiet. Back at the casino, the black suitcase that Saul is using for his disguise for the vault arrives, and Terry escorts him towards the security room. Inside the security room, Saul pretends to inspect the bag and tells Terry that the bag needs to be moved inside the vault as soon as possible.
I agreed to take custody of said briefcase in my secured vault for a period of 24 hours. I just don't trust you.
At the same time, the Malloy brothers help Yen to squeeze his body inside a box that is going to be kept inside the vault. Yen only has 30 minutes inside the box, so the team hurries to finish their plan. The Malloy brothers dress up as the casino employees and start taking the box and briefcase inside the vault. They are stopped by security, who tells them that they are going to take the box to the vault themselves. They start taking the box while Danny is taken away by the casino guards. Inside a room, Danny gets beaten up by their team member named Brazier, who is given the task to beat up Danny. Linus also disguises himself as a bureau agent and sneaks inside the casino. He distracts Terry and asks him for a minute of his time. Terry goes to the security room with him, and Linus informs him that the employee in his casino named Frank is an ex-convict. Frank and Linus start playing their play, which fools Terry easily. This time gives them the excuse of buying time for their friends. Terry fires Frank, who leaves angrily. After the coast is clear, Linus makes an excuse that he has forgotten his stuff inside the security room. Terry easily lets him go back to the security room, while Terry himself leaves for his date with Tess in a boxing rink. Back at the vault, the employee leaves the box with Yen inside, while Danny and Linus skillfully make their way to the vault. Basher helps them get cover by activating the pinch, and all the lights in the hotel and casino go out. Danny and Linus knock out the vault guards and blast open the vault with bombs. Before that, Yen sneaks out of the box, almost knocking down the suitcase on top onto the lasers. He skillfully glides towards the laser button and turns it off so his teammate can enter without a hitch. Yen almost loses his balance, but manages to catch himself on time. After disabling the laser, Yen is given a little time to escape, but his bandage gets stuck in one of the boxes and he is late for escaping. Luckily, the bombs made by Basher explode a little later than normal timing, and Yen manages to get away before the bombs explode. The duo enters, and their hitch begins. Meanwhile, Tess and Terry get back to the hotel after watching the fight, but Terry gets a strange feeling that something is wrong. Inside Tess's pocket, a phone starts ringing, and she confusedly takes it. It is Rusty who is calling this phone that Danny managed to sneak inside her coat. He informs Terry that a robbery is taking place in his casino. Terry doesn't believe him at first, but something about Rusty's explanation makes him suspicious. He quickly rushes to the security room and sees in the surveillance camera that indeed a robbery is taking place there. Rusty states his terms. Terry should let the robbers escape with half the money in the vault, or else the robbers are going to blow up the vault and all of Terry's money. Terry gets ecstatic and decides to play along with Rusty's demands. He makes an escape route for robbers while he asks his security to call 911. Rusty orders half of the bags to be taken in a car while Terry's guards are not allowed to peek inside the bags or else the whole vault will be blown up. Terry agrees, but secretly he sneaks inside the SWAT team. His security turns off the lights so the SWAT team can enter the vault. Fires start ringing and people start shouting to turn on the lights. After the lights are turned on, the robbers have already escaped, while some of them have gotten by the SWAT team. Terry quickly orders his men to follow the vehicle and find the remaining robbers. Once his men find the vehicle, they find it completely empty. Meanwhile, at a distance, Basher denotes the bomb inside the car, and it explodes within seconds. Terry's men inform him about the situation, which confuses Terry even more since there was no money in the vehicle. But then, where did all the money go? Terry watches the surveillance camera again and notices that the vault has a different carpet. He asks his manager about the carpet and realizes that he has been made a fool, as this video is not from a surveillance camera, but instead another place similar to the vault. Before he can react, the robbery is already done, and the team that disguised itself as a SWAT team runs away with the money. Terry gets even agitated and goes straight to Danny as he thinks that Danny is behind this. He goes to the room where Danny is getting beaten up, but surprisingly, Danny is still there, getting his ass beaten up. At the same time, someone from Tess's room calls her room and tells her to play Channel 8 on the TV. To her surprise, it is the same camera that shows Terry and Danny's conversation. Terry directly questions him if he is behind the robbery, but Danny simply acts clueless. Danny then questions Terry if he is going to betray Tess and give her up if Danny told him about the robbers. Terry quickly agrees, and this breaks Tess's heart. She realizes that she has chosen the wrong man over Danny. Terry angrily lets Danny go, but asks his officers to call police as he thinks that Danny is out on parole. Moments later, police show up outside the casino and drag Danny away with them. Tess catches up with them and informs the police that she is his wife. She asks for how long the sentence will be, and the police inform her that it's going to take at least 6 months for him to get free. Tess bids him goodbye, and this time she waits for him to come out of the prison. After 6 months' duration has passed, Rusty waits for Danny to come out of the prison after Danny's sentence ends. He meets up with Danny and takes him to the car. Danny mocks Rusty's car and asks him why he is still driving such a car even after getting millions of dollars in his share. Rusty smiles at his remark, and Danny notices Tess sitting in the back seat. He quickly hops in the back seat and notices that Tess still has her wedding ring. He smiles and kisses her after finally reuniting with his loved one. After the successful heist, Rusty drives Danny back, but unknown to them, 2 goons are following them. It turns out Terry never left his suspicions on Danny and is finding a clue where Danny might have hidden the robbery money.